Welcome everybody for this tutorial done by Aspire Software Limited, and I'll be taking you through. My name is Gabriel Aura, and just like the first time we had discussed about this human resource, and I took you through the setup, how you can set up the entire human resource module so that the module, you can get some good functionality out of this module. So today we want to look at the employment part of it and how you can do your employments, and this is the window of where you can do your employments. So first of all, before you do the employment, there is always an internal intelligence of the entire system, that every time you do an employment, there is always a background report that populates itself, and this is one of the intelligence report systems that shows you how the internal, how the employment has been going on, like in terms of maybe number of tribes, the different tribes that you have in your company. You can also be able to check that. And then of course, in terms of I've gone so fast a little bit, let me just take tribes. Then of course you'll have gender. Okay, you'll have gender, so it monitors that. It also checks for you there every time you employ somebody. And then you have employment categories. So your employment categories will depend with your functionality of the company. So if it is a bakery company, then you will have a lot of bakers in your company. So that is how it picks those categories. And then you have summary for all branches. So you'll have definitely different summaries. And then you have summary for all branches. That is how it will look like. But as of now, there is no data here, so that's why you can't see much. And then of course you have summary of all the branches. You'll have that summary of all the branches and a summary for all the branches, just something like that. So this is not so much because there is not so much data inside, but as much as you'll be inputting data, then there are functionalities within the module, then that is when now you are able to see all these data being populated in you. So you can see here, what you can do is that you can do employment in different categories. One, you can do employment in HQ level, at the HQ level. So if I click that plus, you can see this HQ module with different units within the HQ module. So you can see that if within the warehouse, we have these two employees. So we have one employee here called Christopher, and then there is another employee here called Margaret. So you can see these are employees under HQ. And then likewise also at the branch level, you are able to do the same. You simply click this plus, and then you are able to see all the employees at the branch level. So now for the HQ level, this is just one of the summary of what this employee has. The name is Christopher, and you can see also it is able to capture the image. So let's see, how do you do the employment here? So let me just show you this just for some time here. Let me just show you that. So I hope it will open, because I'm just trying to pick this data so that you can see the real data from this employee here. So let me see if it will open. Just a minute. Okay, it has finally opened. So when you see that, so this is where you do your biodata. This is where you input the name of the employees. So like you'll begin here general, here at the general. So when you click the general, it has this identity. So you can select if the name is Mr. or Mrs. or a doctor, professor or sir. So you can put here Mr. and then you indicate the name Christopher. Just type the name here, and then like here now you can see, you can just type the name. This place you can just type the name here, like let's say Christopher. Okay, the name Umuga, just repeating the name. And then of course you can put the address here. Okay, you can put the address here, and then you can put the telephone, email address, you can put there the email address. Our normal email address, no email at none, that is .com. Okay, you can input the email address there, and then you can put the mobile phone there. Okay, +2 7 62534. This is actually my mobile number, so if you call, you'll reach me at this number. So of course here you can also you can put the date of birth. Okay, you can select the date of birth there, and then you can select the gender, if it is male or female, and then if he is also race, you can also check the race here. Okay, so definitely this guy is African. And then you can select the tribe. Like initially I had selected Luo, but you can select which tribe. And then marital status, so you can also select if he's married, widowed, divorced, or separated. Okay, for my case, I'm a married man of one wife. So this is the marital status. So you realize there are fields that are starred, like this one, the field that have stars. Those, it shows you they are compulsory fields that they need to be filled. Okay, come nationality here, you can put Kenyan or Indian, American, Tanzanian, Ugandan, British or something. So for case here is I'm Kenyan. And then passport, but the ID is more essential. You're supposed to put the ID number. You can see it has stars here, so it means it is essential. It is the unique identifier. So at times you may find people of the same name. People have the same names, like Christopher Otieno, Christopher Omoga, but what will be the unique identifier? The unique identifier is the ID number. Okay, and then the same thing also, it avoids you, actually it avoids your human resource manager to indicate some ghost workers here. So you'll find that if he puts the name, then he has to look for the ID. And you know the ID, maybe you can fake it once, twice, thrice, and all that stuff, but you cannot fake the ID more than 5 times. You know, it will overwhelm you. Okay, but the passport, you can input anything you want to input, but the ID here is very compulsory. Okay, so this is the first general information that you input, and once you've input this, then the system will require you to upload the image. So this is where you upload your image. You simply click there, and then it will look for the folder. You look for the folder in your desktop where you stored your images. So maybe you can look for that. And right now I don't have that, I only have this, so I will save that one. Sorry, so my image is gone, but it will come back because I've not edited anything. Okay, so this is where you put the image, and remember the image is not supposed to be above 10 KB, so it can be 9.5 or below. So if when you are doing cropping, you crop it to 10 to 9.5. That is the maximum, should be 9.5. And then of course here you have the image, you have employer. Let me just redo it again. So here you have let me just redo this again. Just redoing the editing, of course, you can see. So after you've done this is the general information. Then you go for employment. Okay, the date of employment, you indicate the day you've hired him, you've hired this employee, and then secondly also starting date, and if there is any ending date, of course. And when we are doing the employment, all this will be active. If he's in probation, you put a tick there. If he's in contract, you put a tick there. If it is permanent, you also put a tick there. These ones will be active, but once you've saved this information, then this information will be blurred just the way you're seeing. So it means it will be system controlled. Okay, and then of course here you can put the branch where he's supposed to report. Okay, you can put the branch where he's supposed to report. Now for this case is putting the HQ warehouse where he is. If it is store 1, you can also indicate that. And this is the place whereby when you do a transfer of this employee, let's say you've transferred him from HQ to another branch, so you come here and also transfer him to this branch. So this is where you do the transfers also too. So once in a while you'll find there are transfers taking place. So this is where the HR will come and change that. And of course you can input the name to whom he is reporting to, or the supervisor. So these stars, as you can see, the star field are compulsory. So these ones are very, very compulsory, and the higher date is very compulsory. It's supposed to be there. So guarantees also, there are companies that have guarantees or guarantors. Guarantors are people who brought this employee into the company. So you indicate their name and their contacts. Now the essence as to why you have to do that is that in case of anything, if anything happens to this employee, then definitely you are able to contact these guarantors. Okay, you are able to contact them for information. Let's say if maybe the employee was tempted and he ended up maybe, you know, stealing from the company, or maybe you never know if the employee is sick, so maybe those who are closer to him, they're supposed to be informed. So within the system, you'll know who to inform, who to inform and all that. So that is why it is very important that you have to indicate the guarantors here. You just add them here. You just click add, and then it appears here. Then you type the name of that guarantor. Okay. So guarantee limit, there is also guarantee limit. Now there is a difference between guarantors and guarantee limit. So guarantors are people who've brought this employee into the company. It could be a staff member who has just brought him. It could be a relative. It could be a member of government. Okay, either the chief, the PC, minister, and all that. It could be that. So like here, this is where you input the guarantor's name. Okay. Just a minute. Yes, hello? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Lakini mwambia sa wiki kamesonga.
Nimemwambia kulingana na venye tunapanga. Nimemwambia mimi niko end up, lakini specifically setting someone.
Oh, okay.
Kama technician anakuja kukuona, atakujibu maswali yako yote. Na mtadiscuss na yeye. Akasema hiyo ni sawa, akauliza nini anahitaji prepare upande yake. Nimemwambia nitakupea namba yake. Utamcall kama kuna kitu maybe unaweza hitaji akue na anything maybe for presentation or anything, utaongea naye sasa. Na masaa yenye utasema hapo Kenyatta Street.
Wako Kenyatta Street.
CBD tu hapo.
Okay. Sawa. Huyo sasa ni wa Monday Eldoret.
Huyo ndio wa Wednesday.
Huyo ni wa Wednesday. Monday na travel, alafu Tuesday nikutane na Wakitali, alafu Wednesday ni wa Eldoret. Exactly. Sawa, thanks bana. Haya. Okay, sawa. Okay. Sorry, that was just a call from my colleague over a certain client. So let me continue here. So this is the guarantor. Guarantors, just like you've seen that form, you're supposed to indicate the name of the guarantor. And then there is guarantee limit. Guarantee limit is that during payroll processing here, as you can see, the monthly auto transfer value will be transferred every month from staff's current account to guarantee account. That is if until the guarantee limit is achieved. So if the guarantee limit is 6,000, so this is what the system will do. It will transfer 1,000 shillings every month during payroll processing to your guarantee account. So when it is 6,000, then the employee can actually be able to withdraw the money from his own account or from his own guarantee limit account just for emergency. This is normally done for those emergencies because, you know, at times you may need an emergency loan and maybe whoever is supposed to authorize those loans, they are not around. So you have to begin with what you have. So you will remember, oh, okay, I have a guarantee limit in the system. So this is where you can begin first, and then by the time now the management comes and approves a loan for you, then you'll be good to go. So this is just monies that are being deducted from your account every month. So every month the system deducts 1,000 shillings until it is actually 6,000. That is the limit. When it is 6,000, you are liable to withdraw, and then again it continues again to deduct again 1,000 every time the payroll is processed. And then of course here you can set the salaries. So in their categories, as per the government's arrangement, if somebody is in a particular or a certain category, there is a certain basic pay that is supposed to be given. And of course, this is the calculation that it is done, which the system does it automatically. Okay, the system does automatically. That is basic pay. If your basic pay is this, then house allowance, this is now the calculation, 15% of the basic pay. that one is your house allowance. So these are not my real figures, guys. These are just provisional figures for the purposes of the demo. So these are not my figures, okay? So, and then we have basic plus house allowance, which will come to a total of that. So you can add any other allowances here. So if you want to add this employer other allowances, you can just add. Of course, in your manager there, you will have indicated different kind of allowances. So you only select and you input the amount that you are adding, and then you say okay. So that is how you can add allowances. And then finally, plus these allowances, you'll find the system will calculate that 14, that it will calculate the entire gross maximum pay days. And then if there are any non-taxable allowances, also you are able to indicate. You can add any non-taxable allowances here. You say this employee needs to be added this amount, so you can indicate those allowances. You select and then you indicate amount here. So once you indicate amount there, you say okay, then those allowances will come here. Okay, so once you've put this, and then there is a tick here. Most of the time our clients, some of them, they forget indicating this tick here, and then they call you telling you that, oh, the payroll processing is not working and all that, simply because they've forgotten to indicate here that payroll should be processed by the system. So once you indicate there, you say okay, and then the system picks this information, and then every time you process the payroll, then it does that automatically. And of course, these ticks have to be here. This tick and this tick has to be there. So you have also the attendance, which you need to set the attendance. And when you're setting the attendance, you set it from the attendance template, which I will show you after this. So you indicate if this man is supposed to be working daily or hourly. So you indicate there, so that if it is daily, it is automatically pick reporting time 8 to closing time, which will be 8 hours. And if it is hourly, then it will also pick the same. So here you can indicate here if the member can check in any branch. Now check-in is that he can report in any branch in terms of biometrics. He can click when he gets to any branch, then he can be able to clock, or you can restrict the attendance also of public holidays. Now if I put a tick here, then it means this member or this employee can check in, or he can clock in any branch in his attendance. And if I don't actually indicate a tick here, then it shows that this employee will not be able to actually check in any branch. He will definitely have to check in or clock in his specific assigned branch. Okay, that is how you can do controls over that. And then the operations category, this is now the executive categories. If he's an executive category, like an accountant, you can select if he's an accountant. Operations, if he's a mechanic, you can also indicate there if he's a mechanic and all that. So that is how you indicate some of the functions these employees have. And then finally here, the pension. Of course, the pension here, it indicates the tier A, tier 2, with the amount. Like currently in our government, your NSSF is being cut 200 shillings. I don't know, they increased some money recently. So mine, I need to update it. It was 200 by then, but maybe they've increased. So that is NSSF, and I think it is still 200. The government cuts 200, and then your employer has to pay you. Company paid pension, okay, the company pays 200, then the government cuts from your salary or deducts from your salary 200. So at the end of the day, you pay 400. And this is, the system does this automatically. Okay, once you've indicated that one is done automatically. So there are also these statutory deductions. You indicate your PIN number here. If it is A000789, so you indicate that PIN number, and then these ticks, ensure these ticks are just on. And then monthly premium paid, you can indicate there. And then you can indicate your NSSF number. You can say if my NSSF number is that, or my NHIF number also, you can indicate it if it is that. Okay, and then you ensure these ticks are there. Okay, so once you update, you say okay, then this information already the system will be ready to process. And once it processes, it does that automatically. Deductions are done automatically, including also the pension. So you realize that once I've done this, then this one will be picking automatically. It will just pick automatically. And then also with the bank, if this employee is wishing to be paid via a bank, you indicate the bank name here. You can say Equity Bank, okay, and then you can indicate a bank branch name. If it is a branch name, you say Equity Westlands. If it is Westlands, and then you indicate the bank codes and branch code here. Then you say staff bank account name. If it is the name is Christopher, you indicate there Christopher Muga. Okay, sorry, indicate here Christopher Omuga. And then also account number, you can indicate there that it could be account number. Then if you put a tick here, then the system will process and push the money into a specific bank account. So that is how it works. It prints a very huge list of people who are being paid on this bank, and at this bank, the branch of this branch. This branch of the bank. So that is how you indicate the bank. And then from there is also this other general check-in. Okay, if the guy is wishing to make deposits or withdraw funds or collect advance, he can do that. If he's paid lunch, you can indicate the amount of money that is supposed to be given by the company for lunch every lunch hour. It could be 5,000. It could be 5,000, or some companies will give. And then there is monthly withdrawal limit. You can also put a limit on which he's supposed to withdraw every month. So you realize it says this will prevent staff from withdrawing more than limit value per month. To disable features set to 00. So like right now I'm disabling features, so I'm putting that to 0. So this is now where you indicate the biodata of each and every employee. And remember, if you make a mistake here, it will replicate it all the way down to the entire HR system and all the way to the account system. So ensure that whatever you put here, it's fully correct. Ensure you put it very nicely and correct. And if you're not sure, please make sure you seek consultants before you make any blunder. So that is how you do the biometric. You indicate the BIOS, employees BIOS into the system, and this is how you employ them in the system. Now if it is the case of attendance, this is where you can check the attendance of each and every employee. This one now you can go like one by one. Each and employee, you can check the attendance information or the information of this employee. You can check there. You simply search their names here. I don't know why it's taking a little bit long, but I hope it will open. So this is where you can just check. If you are only curious about a certain employee, you can come here and say, let me check this employee here. Okay. So it comes there, then you're able to see branch, which branch he belongs to. It is HQ. Attendance template, he's supposed to be he's on a daily template. So this is just an information for you to grab over about a particular employee. Then for you to check the daily attendance of each and every employee, this is where you do for HQ. You just select the branch here, and then also you select the warehouse. So once you've selected that, of course for me, you realize that this is, so once you click the name of an individual here with this blue band comes out, then definitely it will bring for you it will bring for you their pictures here. So you'll be able to check here the attendance first time in and then first time out. Then present status, the system will put tick if he's worked for 8 hours, and then paid lunch, if he took his lunch, also the system will put a tick there. Likewise also. So this is where you can check all the attendance in every different branches. And remember, this one you are in the headquarter, okay, but you are able to access even remote locations of the branches, and whatever the employees are doing, you are able to see right from the system. Okay, so the branch could be in Mombasa and you are in Nairobi, but the HR in Nairobi can be able to see what is actually in Mombasa, because he can select a branch in Mombasa like here and then be able to see how those guys have actually registered, or how they've attended, they've come to work. So there is nothing like faking here, because everything is fully automated and everything is biometric controlled. So those are daily attendance. You can also check the monthly attendance. Monthly attendance here before processing salary. This is where you are supposed to come and check. So if you put the name of an employee here on that month that you're supposed to process salary, let's say this is Gabriel. Okay. This is Gabriel. So you indicate there. Once you indicated there, what happens is, if this month, if he was present this month, what happens is that the entire boxes, all the boxes will be ticked, will be ticked. This is how they will appear. So let me just tick all. So that is how they will appear that month. So all the present status will be ticked, and then you find that only Sundays, these lines, the yellow lines, it indicates these are off days. So these lines will not be indicated. Okay, these lines that is supposed to be on and off, they will not be indicated, but all the days that indicated, and if he was absent, then it will not be also indicated. So it will show you here with the calculation automatically the number of days this employee works, and then the expected pay, basic pay that is supposed to get. You will see it here. Okay, this is where you need to verify with the employees before you process your payroll, so that they can say which day they never clocked in and the days that they clocked in. Now for those employees who could be, maybe they were not able to come and clock in, maybe because they were traveling, because of traveling and all that stuff, this is where you can actually add them, or you can give them the attendance manually. You can just select an attendance and then give the attendance, assign the attendance to them manually. So let me do it here. Let's say if it is here, I want to indicate the attendance, the date you are editing. This is feature date, because I've not, let me put in last month. So I'll put the last month here. Now let me refresh. So you see, the system is intelligent. It knows even the month you are trying to process salary, and it will tell you this month it's not applicable. So you see, now I've changed the month to last month. Now so this is where you can input the attendance manually, and it is only the HR who is supposed to do that, or anybody that has the rights. So if it is a driver or maybe a salesperson is on the field, they were not able to come to the branch and clock in. Okay, they were in the field. Maybe the drivers went to Mombasa to collect goods at the port, so they were not able to be here after some time, for some time. So this is where the HR will come, select the date. After selecting the date, then you will indicate the time in. This is now you give them attendance manually, time in and then time out, and then you say okay. So once you say okay there, what happened? The system will assign the present status to this employee who is not there, but the administration knows that he is around. So the system will assign him it will mark him in, because you've done it manually. So this is how you do it manually. Here you just click here, and then you appear, you put the name of the employee that you want to, and then you select the date that you want to give him the present status. If it is this, then you give him that. Okay, the first of so you say, then you click tick here, then you say here it is supposed to be that. Okay, and then you say okay, then I say sawa. So once I do that, you can see first date of this, already the present status. So he's been given the present status, or number of worked hours is 9 hours. So that is if he was not around. This is the only thing that the managers or the HR can do, but not any other person. Only HR can do, because of good reasons. Okay, but all other employees are supposed to be clocking in and out automatically using their biometrics. So that is how you can input data. You can input employees, and also check on the attendance of your employees. Now this is the attendance template. Okay, this is the attendance template. This is where now you can define the attendance of each and every employee. This is where you set the attendance. So you can set the attendance, you can indicate, or if you want to add any other attendance, you can also add it here. So there are this hourly, there is daily, and then there is directors mode. So with the directors, whether they come, attend, or whether they don't attend, what happens is that the system just assigns them and they are able to earn salary when the salary is processed at the end of the month. So this is where you indicate. You can use actual clocking timings here, and you say maybe by 8 sharp everybody should be clocking. So the system will pick that. So if you clock less than 8, then it means you are absent, you are late. So restrict also Sunday attendance. For different employees, you can restrict Sunday attendance. So for this attendance, you can restrict Sunday attendance in this attendance template that you want to set. Like for example here, if I edit this, so you can see here I've put on a daily attendance, I've put restricting Sunday attendance, which means those guys at the HQ, I can restrict them. But now at the branch level, that is in supermarkets, because even Sunday they work, you cannot put this. So at the supermarket you will not indicate this, but at the HQ level you are able to indicate that. So that is how you set those attendants in this attendant template manager. You can add different kinds of attendants. And then we have list roster. This is a roster, duty roster. You can check all these duty roster, and this is where you can assign off days for each and every employee. So if I do this, let me just unlock first. Okay, so once you do that, you can select this employee like Omuga, and then you can assign him off days. You can say every week on Mondays he's not supposed to come to work. So once I put a tick there, an X there, and then I mark it, they say mark it. So you can see now the system is marking. So once it marks, what happens is that Omuga will be assigned every Monday is an off day. Are you seeing now? Like there is X every Monday. Every week on Monday he will be off until when the managers will come back. Until when the managers will come back and do what? And reorganize this again, set it again for him. Maybe they can move him from Monday to Sunday, something like that. So that is how you set the duty roster of each and every employee. So definitely that is how you do the offs, of course, of that employee. And then of course the alerts here. These alerts, mostly they are email alerts that the managers can get in terms of attendance. So the managers or the HR can get an email over these attendance here. You can say this, and then you input the email address here, and then you enable. So if it is an employee, you just input the email address here, and then you enable, and then you say okay. So in case of anything, they are able to get those attendance alerts from the HR. So the HR will be able to get those alerts. Otherwise, that is how you can check the attendance and how you can input your email, your employees, or employ them into the HR system. So join us in the next video where we will check on the payroll processing and the rest of the modules. Otherwise, thank you very much for checking on this module and checking on this training, and God see you in the next video. God bless you. Thank you very much.